Alright, how y'all doing? We wanted to show another video. We got cut off earlier. I was gonna just say, talking about the cowboy way. People trust me. When I go to a customer, sometimes they'll leave a check feed barrel and just built off of trust. And I was saying, I feel like I live 50, 75 years behind times, but I'm thankful that we can still trust one another. Amen. We as Christians should be trustworthy, and we've got a horse here that has got some problems. He's had some founder issues and he's recovering, but man, he's got a bad solar abscess on the bottom of his foot. So I'm going to try to put in a pour-in pad, basically a Dr. Scholl's for a horse. But I'm going to try something I don't normally do, so if it don't work, I don't do this real often, but with this pour-in pad, I'm going to take this bread, call the owner and ask him to bring a piece of bread over. There's a bad abscess under this. So I'm going to try to fill that in with that bread. Then I'm going to take this pad and put it over this foot. We're going to pour all this in here with the pour-in pad. But I'm trying to cover this abscess, and it'll make sense in a little bit if it works. If it don't, you got to give me credit for trying. So I'll put that bread in there, and I'm going to pour this pad in through the heel of his foot. You can kind of see here. I'm going to start pouring this pad material in, and he's been shod a while, so it's one of them deals where with him having some problems, his feet are extremely sore, so it ain't gonna be good if I start trying to nail on him. So I'm gonna fill this in, not gonna fill it all the way up like I might normally. I'm gonna let this set up. See how that blue, it's like a pad material. I'll let it somewhat set up, and then I'm going to let him put weight on it so we're not putting a lot of sole pressure on him. I do this normally, if it's just a normal one, I do it a little different, put bent wrap over it. But we got a little issue there. He's in a lot of pain. So we'll let that set up for a few minutes, and then I'll go the other foot. It'll be pretty easy to pour that pad in, but when I pull this foam pad off, it'll be a sole. That sole pad will be there to protect the sole, but then when I pull the bread out, we should have direct access to the abscess where it can be treated. So you think about horses like this, man, he's a good horse, and he's had some issues there, and man, he's really sore. And how many of you thankful that sometimes when we come to the Lord, we look about like this horse. We're beat up, bruised up, busted up,
and limping.
One person, one time I heard a preacher say he was tore up from the floor up. And but I don't know about you, but I'm thankful that the Lord, he doctors us up, he takes care of us, he watches over us, and you know, hopefully in a few weeks this horse will be back on the road. I'm gonna take this off in a little bit and look at it. But man, every day at work I think about different things, and really it's amazing how the Lord does things for us. How many of us that God has patched back up before, you know, and man, we thought we wasn't going to make it, or like this horse here, he can't hardly get around right now, but he had two things going on. He's had some founder, which causes extreme pain and in a horse and their feet. The old timers, back before you had all this fancy stuff, some of you might remember, your parents or grandparents might have told you, the old timers, when a horse would founder, they had a post buried in the pond, and they would take them horses out there and lead them out in the pond, tie them to a post, because the water would help get the fever out of their feet. We didn't have veterinarians years ago and all that, so they, they improvised and done what they could. He's got so you got a sore foot. You know, he's had a founder issue a month or so ago, and he get an abscess on the bottom of his foot. Man, he's had a lot of challenges. So we, I think about our lives kind of similar. Man, we come through things, and the Bible talks about how God heals us, heals the brokenhearted. And you think about his foot hurts, but all of us in some form or fashion in life, no matter who we are, we've had our heart broken. Like I said Sunday, God can heal your broken heart, but you got to give him all the pieces, and he can put it back together. So I know I'm a living testimony of what God can do. I know in my heart, man, I've had my heart broke before and went through hard times. And it just amazes me is how God always shows up on the scene and is able to heal us and restore us. And when he restores us, biblical restoration, we're better than we were before. So just when we think, man, golly, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this, hey, that's about the time God's ready to move in our life and lead us right out of that difficult time. So I just wanted to encourage you today, show you a little bit of work we're trying to do. It's kind of experimental, but we're going to get through it. It took a little slice of bread, and it blocked that pour-in pad material. So when I take that pad there off, if everything works right, I can remove the bread and still have direct access to that bad spot and that abscess on the bottom of his foot. We're just trying to do this for a few days to get him through this. So I'm thankful that the Lord heals us up, patches us up. We will see here. I'll add a little more to that, but see how that's starting to set up there? And that'll give him some support on the bottom of his foot. It's kind of like a Dr. Scholl's, so to speak. I'm going to put a little dirt on that up here and get the edge off of it. But that's going to serve as a pad. And then remember my old slice of bread. Take that bread out. Let that sit up, and then that's going to give me direct access to where we got us a little problem here. I'll trim this up a little bit after it sets up better. But hopefully that made a little sense to you. Like I said, that ain't the prettiest job I've ever done. We're just trying to get him through this situation, so that's what we're doing. But hey, I'm thankful that the Lord heals our hearts and heals our bodies and watches over us. But just like this old horse, like Allison said, we was hopping along here. He could barely get over here, but in a few days, hopefully he'll be feeling much better and getting better. So hopefully that was a little illustrated sermon. We love you guys. Sorry that we lost signal this morning. Where we were, the signal was kind of bad, and man, it just went out. So just wanted to touch base with y'all. We sure love our videos. Miss Allison, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good.
You're good. We love y'all, and looking forward to, what is today? Tuesday. Tomorrow night we got church. I actually have to come to Jasper to do a funeral tomorrow at 10 a.m. Charlie Martin, a member of our church, his mom passed away, so y'all say a prayer for that family and for me, that I'll do a good job at the funeral and try to speak hope and encouragement into everybody's lives, even in the midst of a difficult time. So, hey, we love you guys, and hope you enjoyed. Wasn't nothing fancy, but hey, I'm glad that the Lord, a little duct tape and an old foam pad and some pour-in material, we're going to get this horse feeling better. And I'm thankful that God is able to mend us up and fix us up when we're limping and crippled and maybe a broken heart, something, whatever we go through and the hard times that we face, he's always there and well able to heal us up and fix us. And when he does restore us, it's always better. So that's encouraging. We love y'all.
Amen.
I'm going to get on this other foot. We'll see y'all tomorrow night.